Yeah, I know that it's a World Tour race. But just slapping the WT label on a race doesn't change its actual SSR character. You've got only 10 WT teams showing up, and some of them look to be only showing up to pick up a case of apple wine or do some banking, bomb and trek. At least the other German nominally World Tour but probably SSR race has a funny sponsor portmanteau moniker, Euro ISI Classics, and a list of impressive sprinter victories. This race is all German efficiency. It starts in Eschborn and finishes in Frankfurt with a clockwork Alexander Kristoff victory. It didn't always have such an efficient moniker. The race was originally named the Rund um den Henninger Turm for the Henninger Tower, which was tallest building in Frankfurt at the time, a 33-story tall grain silo, where the Henninger brewery stored its barley. The tower was demolished in 2013, to make way for some corporate headquarters or luxury condos or some such nonsense, depriving Frankfurt of its phallic skyline. In the race's first 30 years of existence, there was a drought of German victories with only 3, though the second edition was won by Hans Mollmann's cousin, Hans Junkermann. In fact, the race was a largely Belgian affair in its first few decades and counts Eddy Merckx and Freddy Maertens as two of the more famous Belgian winners. Erik Zabel did manage to sprint to 3 victories and is currently tied with Kristoff for most wins. Kristoff has won this race 3 years in a row: 2014, 2016, and 2017. In 2015, everyone forgot about the race and the organizers had to cancel it when only Erik Zabel showed up. Yeah, I know it was actually concern about a terrorist attack, but that's no fun to talk about. Before that, though, in 2013, the race was won by the Swiss by way of Slovenia thigh-master, Simon Spilak. And the year before that, it was won by the incredible disappearing Moser, Moreno. So, despite the Kristoff fest of recent years, this is a race that can be won from a long attack on the final ascent, just like how Spilak and Moser barely succeeded in accomplishing their victories. The Scheisse Klein course. This year's course looks a little tougher than the course used in recent editions. In the interest of German precision, I'll call the course 7.634% harder. Like usual, the race will depart from Eschborn, climb the Feldberg and then do 4 circuits which take the riders over the Mammelschein 4 times, with the last descent coming about 40 kilometers from the finish. This year, on the first 2 passes of the Mammelschein, the riders will reach the summit and then keep on climbing for approximately 200 vertical meters and 2.6 horizontal kilometers up the Bildhellohei, and then after a quick descent, climb up the Ruppertschein. The riders will then do 2 more passes of the Mammelschein without the Bildhellohei and Ruppertschein and will have a little impediment of the Heinerweg about 15 kilometers from the finish. The Heinerweg is very short, maxing out at 6%. While the Heinerweg makes for some good juvenile jokes about the Heiner path, it does not make a great spot to attack. It may, however, disrupt the charging peloton enough to give any break that gets away on the steepish Mammelschein a little extra bit of chance to make it to the finish. The Scheisse Klein contenders. Kristoff has won this race the last 3 editions, but if this year has taught us anything, it is that you cannot bank on a repeat performance, with Kittel failing in the Schedelpreis and Valverde losing in the Ardennes. While it is still a very small sample size of a third of one season, perhaps that one less rider per race is having an effect. So, even though you still have to pick Kristoff as one of the favorites, he will have to buck the current trend to get a win. To add to Kristoff's woes, UAE hasn't exactly been setting the roads on fire this season. Kristoff's team is 1 rider down, but also considerably weaker than the Katusha team that supported him during his 3 victories. Quick-Step have Fernando Gaviria, who does not seem to be in race shape yet after being eliminated on the time trial stage in Romandy. Fabio Jakobsen has victories in Schedelpreis and Nokere and would likely want to get his first World Tour victory, even if it's in a small World Tour race. They don't really have anyone to attack over the Mammelschein, even though Yves Lampaert could potentially stay away on the run-in if he was in his spring form. Nasser Bouhanni is here for Cofidis. I'm just not sure that Boo is actually here for Cofidis. Pascal Ackermann is fresh off of his first Pro and first World Tour win after taking stage 5 in the Tour de Romandie. He's looked good all spring, picking up podium finishes in 3 of the lesser Belgian one-day races. He could get another podium in this race, though I think it will be hard for him to win because if he makes it in a group to the finish, Kristoff should also be in that group. Sam Bennett is also here for Bora, but who knows about his health after not racing for more than a month. Sunweb have a number of options: Phil Bauhaus, Michael Matthews, Edward Theuns, and Max Walscheid. Damned if I know who they'll be riding for. Sunweb also just signed an extension with their title sponsor for an indefinite amount of time. While I ain't no fancy contract lawyer, I'm pretty sure that an indefinite contract just means that Sunweb will agree to continue to be a sponsor until they don't. Pretty revolutionary. So perhaps one of the riders should get a victory to convince Sunweb not to drop them tomorrow. Eddie Boss is also here, but he's likely just warming up for his Norwegian Victory Tour in May. Rick Zabel has been looking to make his papa proud in this race and had a second-place finish last year. It would take an unlikely scenario for him to win this race. Moreno Hofland and Rudy Barbier are ostensibly still sprinters, and Marco Kump, Riga Boll, Marco Canola, Eduard Grossu, Justin Jules, and Andrea Pasqualon can all sneak a top 10 finish. If a break goes free over the Mammelshine, it could contain the likes of Tony Galopin, Enrico Gasparotto, Tom Geltas-Lagner, Simon Spillik, Emmanuel Bookman, Gregor Mulberger, Odd Christian Eiking, or any number of roompots. Gasparotto and Spillik would be the form picks. SSR highly efficient beer pairing this past weekend. I had to bring my 3-year-old son to a neighbor's birthday party that was held at this indoor trampoline playground. Afterwards, the birthday boy's parents, who are German, gave me a Berlinbacher Pilsner that they were able to pick up from a Lidl supermarket that had recently opened near my neighborhood. Now Lidl won't just have me thinking about Nicky Terpstra's ass. Honestly, I don't know whether the beer was objectively good. However, after spending 2 hours trying to supervise screaming 3, 4, and 5-year-olds as they bashed against themselves on trampolines, it was one of the best beers I have ever tasted. I'm sure it will do after enduring Eschborn-Frankfurt tomorrow. In the alternative, get a sixer of Henninger Brau, a bag of Skittles, and enjoy the race in your beer the way it should be.